On Sunday, March 9th, the stakes at TNA Wrestling are at an all-time high. Championships and control of wrestling operations is the ultimate prize.
I was really backed into a corner, to be honest, where I'm having to do something I'm not comfortable with to try to do something that I know is important for the company, and that is to remove him being a part of the wrestling operations and him asserting himself into that part of our business by owning a minority stake in the company. And so, it's an extreme level to go to, but I feel confident in my team. And this is what wrestling's all about. We're gonna put it on the line.
Over the next 30 minutes, we will take a special look at two of the matches that will headline TNA Wrestling's most violent pay-per-view of the year.
Lockdown's a unique situation where it's the ultimate proving ground. It's at the end of the day, when that cage door shuts, it's just you and your opponent. Nobody from the outside, the only thing that's gonna help you is steel. The problem is, the only thing that's gonna hurt you is that same steel. So it's kind of like the ultimate equalizer.
Lockdown stands out against any other pay-per-view that TNA does because it's the most dangerous, the most violent, the most intimidating, and the most intense. It's where rivalries and disagreements and feuds between two people, two teams, two entities, however you want to look at it. It's where it all comes to a head. It's where scores get settled once and for all.
It's the ultimate game of risk and reward. These athletes tiptoe on the edge. They lay all the cards on the table. They create internal havoc. They stop breaths. They dare so they can achieve. TNA Wrestling presents Before the Bell, Lockdown. It's considered one of the most dangerous matches in professional wrestling. The unforgiving steel leaves battle scars that never fade away. Careers can be made, or careers can end inside the lethal lockdown.
The steel cage is obviously the most dangerous, match in our industry. And of course, with lockdown comes the lethal lockdown match where you're put inside a steel cage as teams. The roof lowers. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. And inside the cage is weapons. So I've been a part of many of those matches, and I got to tell you, they take a toll on your body for sure.
Normally you see a side of me, you see a side of Jesse, very confident, and we will be confident going into the cage. But I'm not gonna lie, there's gonna be a little something going on in my stomach, a little bug that's gonna be fishing around in there that's gonna, make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And it's only for the fact that once the cage door locks, you're locked in, anything could happen.
It doesn't concern me. I'm always prepared. When you've been doing this as long as I have, you have a trick up your sleeve for any situation you might be put into.
Greed, narcissism, egotistical, megalomaniac are all words that people have used to describe the actions of President Dixie Carter recently. These actions got the attention of an outsider looking in.
I am so excited you guys are here. The Wolves are in the house. I have been watching videos on you, reading all about you. You two have quite the following, you know that? And I am very excited for your tryout match next week. And if you impress me, then we'll even talk about a contract.
Dixie, I think we're past the tryout match at this point.
No, that's why I brought you in for a tryout match next week.
We appreciate that, but
Yeah.
we signed our TNA contracts this morning.
You what? What do you mean? Like, countersigned by
They
who?
said she might react like this.
Who is they?
Just read this. I think it'll clear things up. Come on.
Thank you, Dixie.
Thanks, Dixie.
Thank you.
And who do you really think you are? A new TNA investor?
Well, I think my first immediate thought about the investor was that this was not somebody just looking to make a good investment in a company. This person had obvious ulterior motives, wasn't looking just to make a profit, he was looking to make a statement.
The investor was able to recruit the help of the Wolves, a young, hungry tag team with credibility all over the world. And they came into TNA Wrestling and instantly had the world buzzing about who this mystery investor was.
Dixie Carter, Dixie Carter. The world is bought and sold by the people with the information from those who have none, like Dixie Carter, Dixie Carter.
Dixie, that being said, knowledge is power. You know us as the Wolves. You watch YouTube videos, you heard about us on Twitter. World renowned, right? Then why, oh why, would you go out there and ask the hunters of professional wrestling to dance for their meal?
I am very excited for your tryout match next week. And if you impress me, then we'll even talk about a contract.
Sweetheart, we don't dance, we dominate.
And this new investor was smart enough to know that. And that's why they made this deal.
Around the world, those who know us know not to tempt fate. But for those who don't, consider this your warning.
This is the beginning of our true genesis in this company. And we are just the start. But next week, live in Glasgow, Dixie, the investor, will be revealed to the world.
And this hunt begins.
I want this person to show his face, her face, whoever's face, right now! Think of this. Come on. Get out here. Do you not know who I am? Huh? I said, get out here and show your face right this second. Right now.
The team of MVP and the Wolves came together with one mission, and that was to save TNA from its own president, Dixie Carter.
It's a brand new day. It's not just a brand new era. It's a brand new point in the history of our business. It's time for change. And I've said before, we are throwbacks. We are passionate about our craft, and we're tired of seeing self-absorbed, megalomaniacal, egotistical owners doing things the way they want to do them with no regard for the fans and no regard for the talent.
I think people have always underestimated me from the very beginning. I think they thought I didn't know anything about wrestling. I'm too nice. It doesn't take nice to get to where we've built this company, where I've built this company. And, you know, I was never the type to go about putting myself at the front. I was never the type to put myself in front of the camera. I was never the type to put myself in the championship position multiple times just because of who I was. This has been forced upon me. And it's because I've needed to step up. And now it's time that I have no other choice but to stand up for myself and let people know who did build this company.
Business cannot work if there are two people in control. So Dixie proposed the only logical solution.
I want to buy your shares in TNA.
What makes you think I'm willing to sell?
Well, my experience with wrestlers has been that they're not very good businessmen, but I was hoping that even you might be better than that.
Even me?
Yes. Look, here's the contract. All you have to do is sign it, and I'll have the wire transferred to your account tomorrow. It is a significant amount of money.
This is a substantial amount of money. I have to say, this is my portion of profits from this would be the biggest single payday I've ever seen.
That's because you are a wrestler, and I am an entrepreneur. But you can be better than that if you sign this and take the money.
I didn't come here to,
Make money?
No, it's not about money. I came here to make TNA a better company. I came here to make TNA realize its maximum potential, and I haven't even scratched the surface yet. I'm not even close to being done.
Honestly, what are you thinking?
What I'm thinking is that while your offer is a substantial one, no can do.
Unreal. You are crazy. You are crazy.
Well, I am a professional wrestler, so maybe just a little. And as a wrestler, at heart, I think I have a solution. Lethal lockdown. 2 teams of 4. My team versus your team. Winner assumes complete control of TNA Wrestling operations.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
If you want my shares, you gotta bring yours to the team.
You will never make this kind of money, ever. And I will never, ever give you control of wrestling operations of this company.
You should stick to running the business and allow me to handle the wrestling.
I want your shares.
I want control.
You're not gonna have it.
Time is up. Make a decision, or you're done.
You are gonna be sorry. Sorry you ever put me in this position. You're gonna get what you wish for, but it's not gonna be what you wanted.
I think you'll be surprised when it's all said and done who ends up running things and who ends up running away.
In your dreams.
Its name is synonymous with violence, blood, and revenge. Lethal Lockdown, a brutal spectacle. Once the ominous structure grabs your attention, it's impossible to look away. But who would these teams consist of? Who would be willing to put their bodies and futures on the line in TNA Wrestling?
You sit back and you dream about something for so long, and you have this ideology that starts out as just spoken word, but then it becomes a reality little by little by little. Lockdown, we make that dream become a reality permanently. We get her out of there. We give the fans what they want, which is back to wrestling.
That's what we've been dying for, to make a difference in professional wrestling, make a difference in TNA. To be able to affect how the company's being run, that's something we never expected. So to come in, to be with MVP, me and Davey, to represent the good side of professional wrestling, what we want to represent.
Listen, Lockdown is going to be the most important night in this company's history, but more importantly, in my professional career, Bobby. Operations of the wrestling business of this company are on the line in Lethal Lockdown. And I have to have a captain for my team that is gonna want that victory as bad as I do, Bobby. And I want you to captain my team, okay? And you know what? I am willing to give you 10% of TNA ownership, Bobby. Think about it. Ownership.
Obviously, it's Dixie's kind of set the table for me. It's given me an opportunity to not only be a wrestler here in the company, but to be part owner. So obviously, with those stakes riding on this match, I'm going to take a special interest in this, and obviously, being part owner of a company is huge. And at the end of Lockdown, I think we'll find out that being on Team Dixie definitely pays to be rooted.
I'd make the decision to join the Dixieland Express because it would benefit me personally. You could say that. And I think when it's all said and done, people will understand exactly why I joined Team Dixie.
We're gonna humiliate everybody that thinks that the shining leader that wants to go against Dixie Carter, Team MVP, they will be humiliated publicly, not for a cause, but for a purpose, to shut them up and to make them go away.
I'm confident in my team, and I think our team is going to be dishing out a lot more of the offense than the other team. So let's hope that that happens, and with that happening, let's hope that I'm not too beat up.
Team Dixie, Team MVP, 8 men will battle. Once that steel roof is lowered, there is no turning back. There will be casualties. Who will rise with the ultimate power in TNA Wrestling? Prepare yourself for the carnage. The harbinger of hell awaits.
It's real. It's damn real.
I strive for perfection, and I strive to be the best.
Tonight, I am out for blood.
Do you know who I am?
Creatures, mount up!
I'm the heavyweight champion of the world.
That's the way it's gonna stay.
TNA Wrestling presents Lockdown, live from Bank United Center in Miami, Sunday, March 9th, only on pay-per-view. At the beginning of 2013, Magnus found himself labeled as the future of TNA Wrestling, and that all changed when he did the unthinkable, aligned himself with President Dixie Carter, and became the here and now. He became the TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
This right here, this is a world heavyweight
World
champion.
heavyweight champion,
I mean, look
yes.
at this.
Yes, madam. Never again will I take a backseat to anybody in this business. Not Joe, not Kurt Angle, not Jeff Hardy, not AJ Styles, because now it's Magnus time, and you all have to sit and watch the reign of Magnus. Reign of Magnus, reign of Magnus.
I can understand his frustration with being called the future of something. I mean, let's face it, you never want to be something's future. You want to be something's right now. I don't fault him for being ambitious. I don't fault him for being ruthless in his pursuit of championship gold. You see, my fault lies in the fact of how he did it. He didn't storm in there, kick down the door, and take care of business and do it all himself, no. He signed on. Signed on with Dixie.
A lot of people misconstrue my confidence for arrogance. That's up to them. I don't have time to worry about it, quite frankly. Has my confidence increased since being aligned with Dixie Carter? You betcha. But the fact is that I was aligned with Dixie Carter before it was on television. I was aligned with Dixie Carter before we talked about it openly. So is everybody else who gets a check from Dixie Carter, including my opponent, by the way. I know people have labeled me as a paper champion. People who want to label me a paper champion are ignorant. You're either in the tank or you're under the tank. And I want to be in the tank because right now, I'm the general. We're at war. Every single time I step in the ring and somebody wants to take that title from me, they want to take food off my table, they want to take money out of my pocket, and they want to take my hopes and dreams away from me. Not gonna happen. People can say paper champion all they want, but the fact is that we're going on 3 months now, and nobody's taken it yet.
Well, people mock Magnus and call him paper champ because they're jealous, you know, because he has really everything that you would ever want in a wrestler. Magnus is hungry, he's prepared. I think people underestimate how great he is. People calling him paper champion does nothing but fuel his desire to put all of that to rest.
Proof's in the pudding, man. Everything you've done, everything you've gained, every time you've held onto that belt, let's face it, you've never done it under your own volition. It's taken somebody else. Somebody else needed to step in on your behalf and finish your work. Clean up your messes, handle your business. Somebody's handling your business, that makes you a paper champion.
I am not going to apologize, ever, for Dixie Carter deciding that I'm the right guy to be champion. Because whether or not she had made that decision, I still had to prove it by myself. I still had to prove it day in and day out. It's a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year job to be world champion. And I'm doing it.
Samoa Joe is a man on a mission. He is a man who has never taken the easy way out. He is not afraid to fight. He is about teaching Magnus not only about respect for the sport of pro wrestling, but also for its top prize, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
You know, Samoa Joe is an incredible force. I would obviously prefer Magnus to have a different opponent, especially in a cage at Lockdown. Joe has quite a history with Lockdown. He and Kurt arguably had one of the greatest matches ever in our company history there. So, advantage Joe.
I think it's fair to say that if Magnus had never met Samoa Joe, Magnus would definitely not be in the position that he's in now. Magnus would not have the spotlight that he enjoys now. Magnus would have never, ever had the opportunity to ascend to the heights that he has now You see, that's the problem. That's what bugs you most about me, Magnus, is that for everything that you are, it's because of me. And there's nothing or no one you can hurt or anything that you can affect to ever change that. You exist because you met Samoa Joe.
Every time we walk down the aisle, we know that we run the risk of being hurt. We run the risk of being hurt permanently. That's an inherent risk that we take every single time we step through the ropes, and it's something that we accept as our career. And when you walk down the aisle and step in the ring at Lockdown, that's increased tenfold, maybe more. But the rush of knowing that you're there and there's a reason that you're there, it makes it worth it. And the stakes are very, very high. And if you can't handle the high stakes, you shouldn't be here.
You know, when it comes to getting ready for me, I mean, you better have a full gas tank and 20% more hidden somewhere away. So I'm gonna take it all from you. I'm gonna take every last bit of it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Samoa Joe instills fear into his opponents with his rare combination of speed and raw power. If you listen, the fans let you know exactly what he can do.
Anytime I walk to that ring and that crowd warns my opponent what might happen to them, just know that when I stare into your face, I see you cringe, I see you shiver, I see you kind of take a little bit. I'm feeding off that. It's at that point that I know that I own you, that I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna stomp you down, and I'm gonna take whatever you got.
Joe's a ridiculous athlete. There's no two ways about that. I've never known a man who is so large and so powerful to be so agile, so dangerous, and so quick with his hands, so good with his feet, so multifaceted. His problem is his mind. His mind and his inability to control himself is his problem. And there's two reasons for that. One is that it makes him vulnerable because his rage causes him to break the rules. It causes him to make unforced errors, and it causes him to lose matches. It also means that the powers that be, they don't see Joe as company representative material.
There's nothing one-dimensional about that man. Fortunately, his dimensions lie in having other people help him out, putting himself in the proper position, not fighting his way there. He's multidimensional. It's just not in the right ways.
I think everybody, including Joe, is underestimating him. I think, you know, Joe's gonna kill you is always in the back of his mind, and he never doubts that that's what he's gonna do to an opponent. But what he doesn't realize that he's dealing with the smartest opponent he's ever had, who has just as much brawn to back it up as Joe does. So it, to me, in that case, you know, brains check Magnus.
Will Samoa Joe reach his goal and once again become TNA World Heavyweight Champion? Or is this just the beginning for the reign of Magnus? Find out Sunday, March 9th at Lockdown, live from Miami, Florida.
I don't fear Magnus at all. I've seen everything that he's capable of, and then some. I mean, I faced the best in the world. I've been in some of the greatest battles ever inside of a ring. There's no fear left in me. I have nothing left to give. It's been exhausted. The only thing I have, the only thing I'll ever need is a will to win, and more importantly, a will to hurt you.
You know everything there is to know about me. Or at least that's what I want you to think. You think that I'm a paper champion. You think that I don't have the courage to beat you in a cage. You think that I don't have the intensity to finish you off when I get the chance. You can keep thinking all those. I want you to think that. But what are you gonna think when I'm stood above you and before you even have a chance to go, oh my God, I was wrong. Bam! Coup de grace. And you'll look into my eyes and realize that you're looking at a different guy. than the young, hungry kid who you helped pull up to the next level. Soon you'll be realizing that you're holding on to that level by one finger. And if you don't take me 100% seriously, I'll stamp on that finger and watch you fall down and drown.
For years, the men and women of TNA Wrestling have gathered on this unholy night to settle personal vendettas and blood feuds.
If you're foolish enough to try to climb into that cage while we're going at it, well, just know I have no qualms about going right back up there and pushing you off.
Being a part of Team Dixie, representing the company, and having an opportunity to be a part of this company in a different way, being part owner of Impact Wrestling. You say this is an important night for me. Lockdown will be memorable, and definitely the world will find out why it pays to be around.
I don't want to say too much. I'm going to let my actions do the speaking on this one. Like I said, when it's all said and done, the dust settles, everybody's going to know exactly where Austin Aries lies in the big picture of TNA Impact Wrestling.
Lockdown Miami, what you're going to see is Team Rude victorious, which is Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, the Bromans, and we are definitely going to be the winners. Magnus is going to walk out still the world champion, and we are going to party up in Miami, bro.
I think in today's day and age, people love to see chaos, love to see destruction, mayhem, and people bleeding, unfortunately. That's exactly what they're going to get at Lockdown.
We're gonna win that match for TNA Wrestling, for us, but for fans of professional wrestling. That's our #1 goal, to win it for the fans.
When MVP and the Wolves get in the ring at Lockdown in Miami, a new chapter starts. Everything that was old is erased. It's a new day, it's a new era. Everything restarts over fresh. We're taking this company back. We're giving it back to the people who support it. We're taking it back for wrestling. It's our time, and we want our fans there to experience it with us.
There will be blood. Severe pain will be inflicted. On Sunday, March 9th, nothing can prepare you for Lockdown.
When I think of Samoa Joe, I think of one thing first and foremost. I think of rage. I think of a rage that is deep down inside him, and I think of a rage that boils up to the surface, and I think of a rage that boils up to the surface much more easily every single time. And a lot of people are afraid of that rage. I'm not afraid of that rage. I want that rage to come out of Joe, because that rage will make Joe uncontrollable. Not to me, to himself. And when he loses control, guess who takes control? Me. That's what a champion has to do. And will I get hurt? Will I have a few bumps and bruises? Will it be dangerous? Absolutely. Of course. But it'll be more dangerous to himself. And the fact is that people can question my courage, they can question my heart all they want, but the fact is I'm not afraid of Joe. I'm not afraid of getting hurt, that's for sure, because it's happened before, and it'll happen again. I'm not afraid of my own blood. I'm not afraid of not being able to get out of bed tomorrow. I'm afraid of losing that championship. I'm deathly afraid of losing that championship, and I do not plan on doing it.
At Lockdown, Magnus, you will plan and you will prepare. You will sit back there with your various associates and you will try to figure out a way, an easy way to get past me. You will sit there and you will rack your brains, make preparations, make contingencies. You will do everything in your power to make sure that you hold on to your belt. But after all your preparation, after all your hard work, after everything that you could possibly plan for, I'm still gonna beat you up, and I'm still gonna take my belt.
It's real. It's damn real.
I strive for perfection, and I strive to be the best.
Tonight, I am out for blood. Do you know who I am? Creatures, mount up.
I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. That's the way it's gonna stay.
TNA Wrestling presents Lockdown, live from Bank United Center in Miami, Sunday, March 9th, only on pay-per-view.